Today on John's Garage, I'm going to be giving you an overview of my 1971 Rover 2000 or P6. Now this is a 1971 Rover 2000 TC, standing for twin carburetor, as you can see by the badge in the grille. This is a Series 1.5, the crossover year between a Series 1 and a Series 2. So it has some Series 1 features and some Series 2 features. Now, this front bumper, chrome, rather bad, overriders. They've got a light bit of surface. I might be able to bring that up a little bit better, but it looks shiny, but it will need a new bumper or get re-chromed at some point. Grills and all that, very good condition. Few small cracks on the mounts, but that's fairly common. Chrome around all the light clusters all around the car, very good. These lights are not standard. These are, they say auto pal on them. Normally I'd known these cars to have Lucas sealed beams on them, but this has these, which is handier for, let's say, if you're on a trip and a bulb goes out, because they usually just change the bulbs and they're not sealed beams, which if you crack a sealed beam or a sealed beam goes out, then you need a whole new light unit. As you can see, she has what I believe to be her original plates, which are plates with depth on them, not modern heritage plates. I might get a set for her, but I quite like these proper number plates, so these were probably the proper made, stick the numbers onto a piece of steel. They're bolted on nice and secure. Now, more bad points. This badge, sadly buggered. It's cracked, moisture's got in, and it's faded and quite bad. So I'll probably be putting either an SD1 badge on this, or just see if I can find a P6 badge that's in fairly good nick and isn't cracked to fit on the car. As you can see here, you might have noticed between the blue and the blue, this is half decent paint, which should polish up. This is a piece of vinyl that is the colour blue, slightly different shade, if you hadn't noticed. As you can see, I believe this has probably been fillered and then they've put this over it to cover it up, but at least it's been covered and not just loads of white patches of filler. Now, some good chrome. These wing mirrors on either side, which is pretty good. The chrome is quite shiny. It should come up even nicer with a good old polish, which at some point I will be doing to this bumper, giving it one hell of a good polish with some auto sole and like a shamos, the leather rag things that you use for polishing. Now, ignore the dice, I just thought they were a bit funny. Chrome on the window wipers, pretty good. Scuttle panel, one solid colour, no silly patch like on the bonnet, and doesn't seem to be completely rotten. Underneath the scuttle panel, down under here, doesn't look to be rotten, but we'll find out when that comes off. I can feel the heat radiating from the engine because I've had it running. Glass is pretty good. There's a few scratches over there by the drivers, but they might come out. The seals around the glass, very good. The rubber's all nice. Chrome, most of this chrome on the roof, very nice. All the chrome around the doors, very good. The other side has some patches and marks here, but that should all come out. Handles, all good, chrome around. The other side, it's a little bit overspray and a little bit of like pitting starting to come up, but I should be able to polish that out. Door locks on the front, they don't quite swing back as they normally used to, but at least it's still got the covers. Door seals, it will need new ones all around. The other side, they've been lagged in silicone to stop them leaking. I'm going to do this to this side just for a temporary purpose until I can afford and get some seals. Gutters down along here, which is under here, under the chrome. These are not the rails, there is metal underneath here. They look to be pretty good. I'm yet to get all the chrome off and give it a proper good look over, but from what I can tell, this is half decent chrome and half decent rails. Now, this roof might, from a bit of a distance, look white. It's not, it's silver with black vinyl patches on it to make it look checkered. I'm going to be keeping this for a little bit. I might make some kind of chest pieces as a bit of a joke to put on the roof. But apart from that, they will be coming off when I can. As you can possibly might be able to see there, the rails don't look half bad. The end trims, not too bad. Chrome around the window, pretty good. The rubbers around the window, again, pretty good. The C panel, or C panel trim, pretty good. The vinyl, look, a little bit of bubbling down here in the corner. And this quarter light, from what I can tell, is an earlier one, because this is just a pane of glass just slotted into there. There's no hinges like on the other side, which I'll show you in a minute. Paint on this side, pretty good. All the chrome trim like this, I've got all of it. That's just coming off there, but that should possibly glue back down or clip on properly. Rover Viking badge. Only one on this side, I'll show you in a minute. This wing, paint is good up until around here, and then there's some like bubbly effectness, some like orangey peely stuff. The paint's not too bad, at least it's all pretty much one uniform colour. This block, nice. Fuel tank, nice. All there. There's no fuel tank in the car at the moment. Fuel tank is down there because I'm out cleaning it, and then it'll go back in the car. These wings, I quite like the little fins that this has here. Chrome on more lights here. Chrome's very good there. The Rover badge. Because this is series 1.5, it has the Rover letters on the boot instead of a rectangular piece of aluminium that says Rover in it. Proper Rover letters. That one's a bit loose, but they are pretty damn well stuck on. I need to give them a bit of a polish, but they do look pretty good. There's no pitting on them really. This rear bumper is pretty damn good. There's a few small bits of pitting, but me literally just scraping my finger off over this, they do look to be coming loose. So a bit of auto sol and this overspray here, a bit of white spirit should get that off, and then one hell of a good attack with some polish should get this bumper up pretty damn nice. No rust around here because I've checked underneath as well. The bolts actually still look pretty good. Very good under here. These lights I believe work, but they're not wired in, so the bulb may be blown, but I don't really know. Chrome around here, pretty damn good. Few small blemishes, and there's a little bit of like muck or dust over that, so that should all come off. The plate there, as you can see, the black paint is worn away, so I'll mask all the letters over and probably clean them and spray them black again, and I'll do that on the front as well just to make it stand out a bit. Paint on the boot, uniform paint, loads of, like, you might be able to tell, loads of bumps in it, which is probably just very bad prep. So, and it's the same here on the rear decker panel. And this rear decker panel seal is pretty damn good. There's a little rip in that end over there. It's not too bad. This comes from the London Road Garage, Morton and Marsh 50585. I wonder if they still exist. Possibly not. They're a British Leyland dealership. This is actually, it's still and it might not be very visible on camera, but it's very good condition. You can still see exactly what it says, so that's good. As you can see, chrome all around there, and the roof, that probably will go back to blue very soon. Not too bad. Again, the nice fins on the car. Here's your rear badge, 2000 TC. If I'm correct, I believe the 2000 is meant to go where the TC is, and the TC goes where the 2000 is. But I'm probably just going to leave it like that because they're stuck on quite well, and I'll just leave it. This rear panel behind the bumper, there is some filler here, as you can possibly see. I can peel off the paint, so it's not the finest of jobs, so I'll sand that back. You can probably hear the tappiness, but I'll sand that back, and I don't think it needs repairing, but I'll sand that back and put a coat of blue over it just to make it look a bit nicer, just to try and make the car look as nice as it can. Again, love these little thin American styles, as this kind of was sold in America and they wanted it to give a little bit of an American big look. Now, boot lock works very well. Oh, don't do that. This doesn't have a catch here that goes on the boot. There is half of it down there, but it doesn't really bother me because the boot does hold itself up, as you can see. Now, there's the owners. There's the Haynes manual. All the lights work. Yes, I know the battery doesn't live here. It's meant to live under there, but I don't have a battery box for it, so it lives there at the moment. As you can see, no fuel tank, because there's a load of trim panels and spare interior parts on the tarpaulin and some overalls there, and all the horsehair insulation from behind the seats. I've taken that out because it just traps moisture, and you do not want trapped moisture on a Rover. All the hubcaps are here because I didn't want them on the car. I didn't want to dent them, and plus you need a clean and a bit of a polish. Rust in the boot. There's not really much rust in the boot floor. There's a little hole there from where I believe when it was put on the low loader, they pulled on this. We're dragging it up and it's ripped that. A hole through there. this rear arch here, you might not be able to see it very well, sorry, because it's quite dark in the corner here. It's had MOT patches put over it to make it pass an MOT. So I'll be cutting, at some point I will cut all this out here, this corner, and re-weld in some new metal along. I'll cut out the rust because I've looked underneath and that's literally just been patched over. But otherwise the boot isn't too bad. There's a very small hole at the bottom of that arch, but that's basically nothing. It's like a 1 centimetre by centimetre hole. That I could literally probably sand it and make it out of weld, but I'll probably cut out a little bit more just to make it a little bit more spacious. Now all along here, under the decker panel is all very good. Decker panel is held in fairly securely and it's all good. The hinges and like the torsion bar type things that hold the hinges up are all good. Let me just show you how nicely this boot closes. No, I don't like to slam it because I don't think the hinges quite line up exactly, but it's a very nice click, and then it pops up and you can bring it up. I'll just give it a little, yeah, I need to adjust the little rubber feet that are like under here so that the the boot closes properly. Again, chrome very good on the rear bumper. Wheels good, no chrome on them. This wing isn't structurally rotten, but again it's got some rather not the finest of paint on it, but at least it's the same colour. It doesn't look too bad. Now this is the worst side. As I said, as a minute ago, you might have seen the quarter light, which is slotted in the piece of glass. This is actually on hinges here and here, so this one you can open it and it doesn't get stuck. And here's the black silicone that's been lagged over these seals. Again, I've started to peel it off on this one because the seal is actually pretty damn good. Not all split underneath, but I'm going to peel all this old silicone off this one and put a very thin coat of it over it just to kind of build a bit of structure on it. Just make it look better. There's a little piece of it actually on the floor here, along with all the underseal. I've scraped off the seals, which I'll go over in a minute. But that was all on the window seal here, so I'll pick all that off and that'll be going in the bin. Chrome on this side, it's not too bad, but there's some pitting which I've literally just scraped off with my nail, and it should also come off with a good old bit of polish. All the glass is pretty good in this car. This quarter light's a little bit fogged, but I should just do the polish. This chrome, good. Gutters again on this side. The gutters, as you might be able to just about see, they don't look completely rotten. They do have a bit of surface on them. I can't see under these front trims, so I will be taking pretty much all the trim off of this car just to check for rust under them. Now, I'll go over these doors. This door here, you might be able to see there's a dent in it. Both these doors are full of filler. This door, full of filler, but at least it's the same colour. Both of these doors, at some point, they'll get sanded back. I'll be filling them, making them smooth, putting the trim on them, and just painting them blue so that the car's all uniform in one colour. Now, this door is completely shot. You could probably see, like, the hand-size holes where the filler is, holding it together. So I'll be sanding this door back, filling it, smoothing it out, and painting it just for a momentary purpose. It won't be like that forever, and this door it definitely needs a new door, as it doesn't quite line up. As you can see, lines up there. Down at the bottom here, I can literally like fit 3 fingers in there, and it doesn't move at all, but doesn't move. I think the door is sealing, but I think the skin is kind of peeled away from the door. The sill covers on both sides, sill covers are good, but you can have the shiniest sill covers in the world, but if your sills are underneath or buggered, you're pretty damn screwed. But the inner sills on this car, which are the ones, so here's your sill cover, then your inner sills, both of those I've checked under the carpet, those are good. I'll put in some photos or a small video of me just running around it. But the outer sills, I've yet to get these covers off because they just won't come off. So I'm probably going to have to cut the bolts off the bottom and pull these off. But they don't seem to look too bad from where I've kind of peeked. But I believe that this car will need welding, obviously. No P6 doesn't really need welding. Again, this horrible like vinyl stuff on the boot. This is a bonnet, not a boot, it's at the other end. 2000 badge, chrome trim. I've put a bit of chrome, that bit of chrome was there. I've added this one, and this door doesn't actually have the clips, neither does that wing for the chrome. So I'm going to have to try and find some clips. Now here's your bonnet again. This wing, pretty damn nice. Wing mirror, all good. Now, what you're probably dying to see, that you've been seeing through the window, are these rather nice leather seats. Door cards are, if I remember correctly, it's called buckskin, which is like this beigey vinyl, which I don't mind, but obviously working on cars you get dirty hands, then these go from beige to like a brown colour rather quickly. Now those are the buckskin headrests on either side, but these seats are mango. Now these are lovely. Now the person who I bought the car off, part of the deal was I get a pair of buckskin seats so that I've got a matching interior, and he'll get these mango seats for his car. So that'll be happening at some point, so I won't get to keep these. They're fairly nice. That one has a bit of tape on the top of it for some reason. They probably tried to cover something, but we should be able to fix that. These aren't ripped. They've got like natural cracks, but this is... The car's 50 years old, so this is at least 50-year-old leather, and it smells amazing. It's really nice condition, as you can see. And they're just... These are fairly comfortable, these front seats. But those rear seats... They've got a little bit of a drop when you get in the car, and they are, if you have the armrest down, and if this was a V8 and it had a bigger armrest on the door, you could probably quite easily go to sleep in the back of this thing because it's really comfy. And these seats fully recline, so if you were, let's say, on a long drive, you could probably recline these and go to sleep if you had to, if you were a passenger or you were a driver and you were stopped. Now, 2000 on the steering wheel, odometers, tachometer, you've got your mile per hours. As you can probably see there, it says 8,254 miles. It's got more miles than that. This has 108,000 miles, but it runs very, very well. Now, fuel gauge obviously doesn't work at the moment, but the amps work, the oil pressure. As soon as it runs, that thing shoots up to just over the 30, so around 40 psi, which is, or pounds per square inch, which is pretty good for oil pressure. Now these vents are all shut. The heater probably will work, but I'm never going to use it because heater box leaks, and heater box leaks, goes down your bulkhead, rotten bulkhead. Oh no. I'll show you in a minute, but the bulkhead on this car is pretty damn good. We can't seem to see any massive holes. Obviously, got a tape deck in it. Keys, Rover Badge on the keys. Steering wheel, horn, works. All your gauges. Clock sadly doesn't work, but I'm rather good with mechanical small clocks, so I'll probably be taking this apart and see if I can fix it. Otherwise, I will replace it somehow with something else. Cigarette lighter port works. The lighter itself actually works, because if you push it in, it then pops and it's glowing. So off. Map light works. That light does work up there, but the issue with it is it turns on, and then it'll turn off, and then it'll flash on for a bit, flash off for a bit. So there's electrical gremlins, but it's an old Rover. You always chase them. I think I will just only ever use that because I'm only ever going to drive this car really in the daylight, and then you've got light coming in from the windows anyway. Panoramic mirror. I'm recording this on my phone because it's actually like the only decent camera I have. Headlining, pretty good. These are pretty good. I don't think this is standard, this mirror here, the vanity mirror, but it doesn't seem to be falling off, and I'm probably never going to use it, obviously. This one, again, decent. These trims all here, very decent. This has the, as you might be able to see there, this has the Brita seat belts, which are they're not like your standard inertia ones where you just click it in. These ones you have to lift it up, push it in, click it down, and you have to adjust it to yourself. So they're not the safest, but it's better than no seat belts, and in the back has no seat belts. For some reason there is a Mr. Bean teddy hanging from a clip, which I have no idea about. One of my friends has probably done that. Glove boxes are locked, but as you can see they have nice covers on them, and they're pretty damn spacious. Tape deck, I have got the piece of plastic that says Rover that goes over here, TC. Here's the original choke cable. Here's the new one. That does work for when you're starting it from cold. if I just click the ignition on, just at the first point, you can possibly hear that the heater, the fan does work. So in the summer, if you really want to, you can open these vents and run the heater. But cars have windows, just use them. Quarter lights, obviously, best thing about a classic car, or many other things, but quarter lights, love a quarter light. These little handles, all that, chrome everything for the windows. Very nice. These door jambs, sadly you can't see them very well because it's quite dark, but these door jambs are all very good, not rotten. I can see carpet goes to, oh, carpet's back there, but this here, let me see if I can get some more light in. This here, inner sill, pretty damn solid. It's had welding on it previous, but as I can see, it's pretty damn solid. It's had a bit on here and a bit on that side under the carpet. I've checked it. I will try and remember to put a video in of me going around the car where you can see the floors, the inner sills on both sides, and a bit under here and all. This dash I've had out because this gear linkage has a hell of a lot of play in it, because there's the 4 bolts that go like here around it that clamp it down. Both of those, all of those are broke loose, so it's a bit of a, you push it all the way to where first gear would be normally, and you've got to push it a bit more so it actually clicks into gear. There's second, third, now fourth is always a bit of a, because of this, there's fourth, and then it's got a short gear knob, as you might be able to tell, but lift that up, stand that over, and it's a bit of a pig to get into reverse. I believe that's in reverse. The lights haven't come on, but it sounds like it's in reverse. Ashtrays, obviously, I believe they're still full, but this one had nuts and bolts in it, this rear one. But ashtrays, these cables are just running from the thing to set speakers I've dumped on the back seat, so I've got a stereo. And there is a speaker behind here, and I've got some other ones that will go on that rear parcel shelf area, like behind the passenger seats. So I'll be fitting those so that it has like a proper stereo system in it. Doesn't sound too bad. I won't play anything more because of YouTube and their evil copyright system. Rubber mat on the dash. Dash is pretty good. All that wood back there isn't cracked. I'm not missing that piece of trim there. It is in the glove box. Again, all these trims here, very nice. The buckskin on that side is pretty good. And on the rears, these seats are very nice. All of these work. This one here though, sadly it's missing the top of it. So you can still pull it up, but it's a bit of a pig. But once they're open, they're open. And obviously quarter lights. And I've got a little tree air freshener. It doesn't really work. Chrome trim, as you can see there. Gutter channels, you might just be able to see them. They're not too bad. All this vent, these do open and close. Obviously in a P6, you probably know that these things rust rather bad if you own one or know of them. Never leave these open, always keep them closed. I believe that one down and that one up is the heater core shut off. If it's wrong, please tell me, I'd love to know. Air, there's low speed, high speed, I'll just keep that off. The hazards, they work. I'm going to have to put it into ignition. Hazards either side, these all work. I won't do the wipers obviously, but all the lights work, which I will show you shortly. I'll show you the interior light working. Give me a second, I will just see if I can get, I won't pump the brakes because there is little fluid in it and the driver's side front caliper sticks, but I will see if I can get reverse lights to work, which I bet, now that it's on camera, they won't. No, they don't seem to work. They do work, you've just got to properly give it a good old slam when trying to get it into gear, but that all works. Inside it's not too bad. I can quickly, I'll only run it, it's been warmed up because it's cooled itself down a bit, but I have had it running within the last 20 minutes or so, or just a bit over. So I will just pull that down, I will give it a crank. Give it a second and I'll give it a little blip. This doesn't, I'll go to the back and I'll show you that it sounds fairly good. The engine is warm, so you don't have to worry about it really gassing me out. Sounds pretty good, I think. That's from where I first started it, and it just, because it was right up against the wall, it just spat soot all over there. Nice bit of pressure, no leaks from the exhaust. It's only running off what's in the fuel bowls, so I'll just give it a little. I can see good oil pressure, good amperage. Yeah, it's just run out of fuel, so I'll turn that off. But yeah, runs very nicely. Obviously, there's your heated rear window. Forgot to mention that. Glove box. I love these locking glove boxes. They're just so handy, because if you've got a locked glove box and someone breaks into your car and want to open the bonnet, they're going to be pretty hard down pressed. I love the amount of keys that you get with an old car. So you've got ignition key, door keys, boot keys, all that. Let me just unlock this glove box and just pull the bonnet release hatch, which is in here. I won't be needing that glove box again, so I will lock it. I will whack that key back in the ignition. I quite like all the small little features, like on this car. If I just pull the key out of it, that way. Steering lock, which is quite nice for a car at this age. Let me just try and unlock it again. I'll do that in a minute, but on it. There you go. Unlock it. Quite a nice feature that I like. Obviously working horn, working indicators. Look, just look over there. The beams work, which is handy because I do not want to go chasing electrical things. The clutch, it goes down stupidly easy at the moment. There's no clutch pipe on it. That was snapped, but it has a brand new master on it and a decent slave. So it's a good system. I just need to get a pipe for it, which I'll be doing soon. Handbrake works. Obviously I've got it off at the moment, and most of the time I just jam the steering, put it in first gear and chock the wheels, because handbrake, I don't want the handbrake seizing on and then it being a bit of a pig. This door, as you can see, this one closed that time, but 90% of the time if you just close it from there, it doesn't fully shut, but there it did. If I just go to the other side, which is where the more decent of doors are, this one, very decent, and this one here is the exact same. Oh, something I forgot to mention, D-posts, look at those. The other side is pretty much the exact same, except for this seam here is a bit crusty, and it's a little bit crusty down the bottom, but I believe it's been filled, so I'll be getting that filler out, get rid of all the surface rust, and I'll just go over it with some primer. I won't bother filling it again, just go over with some primer. But this side, I've gone over it with a magnet, I've given it the knock test. I can't find like any bits that really sound fillery. Obviously these rear seats, very nice. Just pull that forward. There's another tree down there. You might not be able to see it very clearly, but these bits here, oh, there's insulation there, but it's very solid down under there, and the same on the other side. Let me just whack this seat back in. But there's that, and obviously you've got the armrest there. I really like the mechanism on this. It's quite a nice mechanism, keep it flush. There's no trim on the rear parcel shelf at the moment, but that's not to worry. Yeah, D-post's good. The seals around the doors, they're not stupidly flat, so they seem to be sealing very well. This is this door handle needs a bit of work, but this quarter light, it opens fine, but if I just close it, it just pulls itself out there. So you have to push it back in, like so, and then close it. So that one I just don't really use. Let me just push the lid down. Very nice closing doors. And there's the passenger seat, again with the buckskin headrest and the Britax seatbelt. These carpets are very decent, that's why I've got a Volkswagen floor mat on it. That side just has a Rover floor mat on it with a rubber floor mat just covering it. Again, as you can see, rather nice. But these doors, they are all shot, but they just look half decent on this side. Love the door close. 2000 badge. Let me just pop the bonnet open. Obviously, bonnet hinge in the middle. Once you've got it cracked, you can lift it up, which I quite like. Now, if I just try to reach over for the bonnet latch over here. And I've just realised, because the car is pushed forward and the garage door is in the way, I will not be able to fully open the door for you. The bonnet. If I just hold it up for a minute or so, as you can see, it's got decent radiator on it, decent set of hoses, obviously a fan and all that. Alternator, not a dynamo. And there is your twin HIF6 carburetors with some pancake filters. Sounds pretty good when you're revving it from under the bonnet. I don't rev it stupidly high, obviously. Brake, oh, creaky hinge. Brake servo. The brake fluid reservoir seems to be holding, so I don't think it's leaking. Oil filter, all that. It has oil in it, don't worry, I have checked that. The engine itself, your tappet clearance valve, little guide on the side, and your Lucas, I think, is it the 25D or D25 coil? No, there's your coil, that's your distributor. No, don't want to get clumsy like that again. And that's that, so there's your coil. Fuel pump, that's all good. If you're wondering why it's got a bit of a tinge, the fuel system, I believe, might be... The cars were running like a little bit of a... The cars were running a bit iffy, so I've whacked some Red X in the fuel and then given it a good old 5-minute run, and it is smoothing the hell out. As you can see, rather solid here, not too much there. There's the heater box, all your things there. This has the earlier fuse boxes in it, which is nice. Pretty good there. So let me just close this bonnet down. Obviously I can't slam this because the catch there, the catch hits the slam panel, so you have to lift it up, pull the catch, put it in there, and then just give it a good old, give it a little whack. Now, sorry for this video being a bit long, but it's a bit long-winded, and I just wanted to give people a good old overview of the car. But that is Kate, my 1971 Rover P6. Everything wrong with her, what she needs. At the moment, it looks like it might just need outer sills, a bit of rear arch, and just a general tidy up, and some paint issues, and a few small niggly bits. Obviously a doodah for a what's-it here and there. If you're British, you'll know that quote. And just, it's not too bad, it's fairly decent. If you're wondering what that is a Suffolk Punch engine. It does run, but it's rather rubbish, and the piston rings are shot, so it runs, but it smokes like a freight train. And yeah, so this is Kate. I've said what she needs, what she'd like. She runs pretty damn well, as you can hear, and I think she's a lovely little motor. And I will be out with a new video very soon on this car. And I'd just like to say thanks for watching, and welcome to the channel if you're new. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.